And welcome to ENZYMENTAL. I'm Jason Carter, and today I wanted to talk to you about a surprising link between celiac disease and candida. Celiac disease, triggered by gluten proteins from wheat in susceptible people, can damage the central nervous system. The cell walls of candida, which are the parasitic yeast responsible for oral thrush, vaginal infections, and intestinal candidiasis, contain the same protein sequence as wheat gluten and may actually trigger or stimulate celiac disease. Our understanding of celiac disease has come a long way in the last few years. Several recent studies have linked celiac disease to central nervous system damage, which may cause sporadic ataxia. Other studies have identified the particular protein sequence in gluten which causes celiac disease. And still other researchers have identified a similar protein in candida and suggest that it may also trigger the same disease. These studies suggest that the typical digestive symptoms we associate with celiac disease are present less than 20% of the time. So in this way, having normal digestion no longer rules out celiac. The classic problems associated with celiac disease are those of malabsorption and nutritional deficiency. Children with celiac fail to thrive and are often deficient in all of the fat-soluble vitamins, and also many of the minerals, particularly calcium and magnesium. While children are prone to osteomalacia, adults usually develop osteoporosis. Celiac is an autoimmune disease. The gliadin portion of the gluten protein contains a sequence of amino acids that trigger the immune reaction. When they bind onto the intestinal mucosa, they act as an antigen and summon killer lymphocytes to attack. The immune system also develops an immune reaction to the muscle lining of the intestine, which is the endomysium, and also the enzyme transglutaminase. People with celiac disease make antibodies which attack both the endomysium and the enzyme transglutaminase, and once this autoimmune process has been triggered, damage occurs in other parts of the body, not just the intestines. So how does this relate to candida? It seems that the identical sequence of proteins occur also in the walls of Candida albicans. These candida gluten-like proteins are actually candida's hypha-specific surface protein known as HWP1. So you can think of this like Velcro, and it allows the candida to attach and hang on to the endomysium and the walls of the intestine. It's also triggered by transglutaminase, the enzyme which acts on the gluten protein and serves as a target for immune antibodies. Candida species which don't have this HWP1 protein cannot attach themselves to the digestive tract. If candida can trigger the same chemical and immunological reactions as wheat gluten, there are several implications you can imagine from this. First, in people with celiac disease, symptoms usually get better rapidly when they eliminate gluten from their diet. This isn't always the case. Even without gluten, some people continue to have symptoms, and this is where the candida really comes in. They may actually have candidiasis. The candida in their gut may be acting like gluten and continuing to trigger symptoms. Secondly, an acute candida infection may trigger the onset of celiac disease. Even if the candida is treated and eliminated, the person could be left with a permanent sensitivity to wheat gluten. Candida infections occur frequently with antibiotic usage, so in people genetically susceptible to celiac, extra caution should be exercised when using antibiotics to prevent candida overgrowth. Third, if wheat can cause neurological damage like gluten ataxia, it's also possible that candida could do likewise by the same process. Reports of candida infections causing neurological problems are not uncommon, so now we have a possible explanation here. If only a small portion of people with gluten ataxia have gastrointestinal symptoms despite their severe damage elsewhere in their bodies, it's possible that candida could stimulate significant problems while producing slight or no digestive symptoms. So here's a way to look at all of this. Celiac disease may be grossly underdiagnosed. It should be ruled out in any chronic digestive condition, even if the symptoms don't fit the classic picture. And whenever celiac disease is diagnosed, candida infection should also be tested for and treated aggressively. And as I've told you many times before, when treating candida, you need to be patient and persistent because a candida infection takes a very long time to manifest and it takes a very long time to leave, even when you treat it every day. So some great ways to help this: take a digestive enzyme when you eat, specifically one that has the enzyme DPP-IV, which breaks down gluten and gliadin. And you can even take this enzyme on an empty stomach between meals, and that'll help to get into the bloodstream and break down any microscopic parts of gluten that are causing inflammation in the intestines or the bloodstream or elsewhere. And pairing this therapeutic DPP-IV with a high level of the enzyme cellulase and also protease will help to break down the outer cell wall of Candida, made of a thick cellulose-like compound called chitin. And the cellulase enzyme breaks down not just cellulose, but also this chitin cell wall. So taking a cellulase enzyme with the DPP-IV enzyme on an empty stomach can really help to break down not just microscopic components of gluten in your intestines and bloodstream, but also the actual cell wall of Candida. So in this way, you can think of these two enzymes as natural companions. Thanks for watching. I'm Jason Carter, and I'll see you next time on ENZYMENTAL. Stay healthy.